Oh, okay, it's going.
Okay.
No, no.
Okay. How did you hear about me? Through Nicole
Uh, I heard about you through on Facebook.
on Facebook.
There's a thing called the algorithm, and you came up, and I saw your profile. I was like, oh, that looks really interesting. I want to try this. I want to talk to this guy. So
Okay, well, great. I haven't done an interview in a while, but I used to do a lot of them. I've, I've been in the business a long time.
yeah,
So, anyway, are you?
yeah, we're recording now. I just can. Am I coming in loud enough?
Yeah, oh, yeah, plenty.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see me okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Uh, my wife helps me. My daughter, when she's home, helps me, but otherwise, I'm helpless.
Right, I get it. Yeah, my wife is more on top of it than I am. She'll research shit, and I'm like, "Oh, cool." I just learn, just try to figure it out. So, um,
Okay.
let's see here.
I usually have
Or
some. Do you want to go over my IMDb page and stuff? Because
sure, I mean, it's like where you at?
I'm in San Pedro.
San Pedro, nice.
Around the-
Um, you grew up there, or
No, no, I grew up in a little town called Calistoga. It's up in
okay,
California, Napa Valley.
okay,
But I got out of there as soon as I could. There was absolutely nothing to do but get in trouble up there,
yeah.
drink and drug. So, I joined the Navy, saw the world, and then moved to Denver and became an actor up there
Oh
accidentally.
wow.
The whole thing is a total accident, but it turned out okay for the most part. Bad parts in there too, but
Yeah,
thing is, show business is a son of a bitch.
it is right,
Oh, yes. They'll kill you.
right,
Not for the timid or the weak.
right. I mean, seriously, I kind of understand that mindset of, striving to be, I wanted to be I wanted to be in a band and when I was younger, and I thought, well, I saw after Nirvana, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Cause this, it's like everything's out the door. Like fuck heavy metal. It's all about grunge and all. So and then, I realized it's really difficult, and the music business, like the rest of the entertainment industry, it's really shady, and it's just really hard. So and it's just, you have to be really good, you have to have something that's, or somebody, and it's
Yeah,
so
it's true. But you get betrayed a lot too, and you get a lot of rejection. And somebody told me once, "Oh, you must have so much fun being an actor." And I said, "Well, the frustration factor balances it out.
right.
There's a lot of frustration
Yeah,
and tragedy in this business. You think you have something and you don't, or people will delete you from the movie because of something you said or did, or
and you don't even know, right? Like you don't find out till it's too late.
somebody invited me to a screening and I'm not in it. I'm like, why in the hell did you would even invite me? It's just, oh God, it's horrible. There are people that you think you're your friends are really not. They're just
That's You know what? That's the exact same thing I just find from all genres. It's like you really don't know somebody, and people make it really hard to really, and it's like, it's funny you say that. Like, I don't know if you listen to podcasts. There's a guy, Mark Maron, and he had a show, and he's a comedian, and he's like, he lives He lives in, what is that? He lives next to Sierra Madre or Pasadena. He lives but he's like, he knows a lot of comedians and knows a lot of people in the industry and, entertainment, but he's like, he doesn't he says you have friends, but it's not like you would just get up and call them and be like, "Hey, what's going on? You wanna chat?" It's like it's through work, and it's there's that element of that, and it seems lonely.
Yeah, it is a very lonely business because everybody's fake. I'm one of the most sincere people you've ever met, and I'm really straight on with people, but most people aren't. They'll lie through their teeth, just to get you to do something. They're users. There's the takers and the givers. I'm more of a giver. I've lost a lot of money in this business,
Right.
helping people, you know,
Yeah.
projects. So, I'm disgusted. I've almost left the business, but I keep at it. I'm kind of a masochist, I think. I like the pain. I
Well, you love it though, right? Isn't that what it really is about?
Yeah, I love the craft of acting. I used to teach it, and I've been doing it. I've done over 350 films, so I'm staying the course. But I'm 76 years old, and it's just that hard on me,
I was gonna say.
especially this type of stuff.
Right.
In a way, I'm glad that it's digital. I mean, if somebody can help me, I'll do a Zoom audition rather than go downtown. It takes 5 hours, 2 hours in traffic each way, and an hour to wait. That eats up my whole day. And then
Right.
now, you don't make the money you used to. I used to make a lot of money just by one commercial, maybe $30,000. Now
Wow.
you're lucky if you get 3, and then there's 50 people, waiting and to get in, or 500 people, and then you come for callbacks, there's 50 people. So
Right.
it's not like it's so competitive now in Hollywood.
Right.
So it's a very frustrating bit. I stopped doing commercials. It's not worth my while, and it's
Yeah.
not worth the gas. So, I do theatrical only. I
Okay.
do a lot of it, and that there's not a lot of money in that either. So,
Oh, I mean, theater is like you can't go it's like playing the blues. You're not you can't go in with the attitude like, "I'm gonna blow up and be famous." This is about the art, you know?
I'm not after fame. I mean, I've accrued a little bit of it. I mean, I'm not like an A-lister or anything, but I've worked with a lot of A-listers, and, recently, at my age, I got to work with Julia Roberts and Eric Roberts,
Wow.
and in my youth, I worked with, Raymond Burr and Perry Mason.
Wow.
I don't know if you know any of these people.
Yeah.
A lot of the young people I talk to, they don't know these names.
It's now there's a generation coming up where I'm in my I'm in my 50s, and I'm noticing that, like, and I'm not I'm like I'm not, like, too far, older, but I'm old enough now where I'll mention and reference things, and then I have to explain it, and it's like to somebody in their early 30s and younger, and it's like, what do you do? Like, I grew up with a mom that was really older than me, so I grew up with 50s era slang, 40s,
Sure.
so I get a lot of, certain, period shit, but, yeah, like, my son is cool, and but under you start he's like 30 he's 36, so you start to go and, like, you hit about 33, and then you go out and they're like they have to look that shit up, like,
Right.
they, they just, you have to tell them, and it's cool. I just feel I'm glad I could, do that. Anyway, sorry to cut you off, but I know what you're saying.
That's fine. So, yeah, I like this conversational style better than, just question, answer. So we just talk and it comes out easier. It's
Right.
more spontaneous, I guess.
Well, I
So
just want you to talk and, like, I don't want this to sound ageist or whatever, but I think part of it is like done that for a while that, like, you have some interesting shit to say, and,
Yeah,
I like behind the scenes,
yeah.
you could talk shit all you want, like, it's all good, man.
I could feel a lot of times when I'm interviewed, they'll say, "We need to have you back," because
Right.
I didn't scratch the surface. And for every movie I've done, I can tell you a story,
I know.
50 stories, and some are outrageous. And, how I got started, how I got broke through to Hollywood because I was in Denver when I started.
Right.
Um, I was working in a salvage yard for the Bell Telephone Company,
Wow.
driving a forklift, getting dirty and, all this stuff, and I loved it, even after 6 years of college,
Well, wait, sorry, when was this? Sorry, I just wanna know.
in 19 well, in '85 when I started showing
Oh, okay.
1985, so, somebody said, "Oh, you're really funny," witty, and so maybe you should do stand up. So I did that first, and I got kicked out of a club. I said they wanted me to never come back because I did something I probably shouldn't have, but I did a magic act. It was
Oh,
comedy magic act where the night before I appeared, I took my underwear and stained them brown and yellow with magic markers, and then I put them in the back of my pants. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do a magic trick. On the count of three, everybody say abracadabra. So when they did that, I pulled it out and threw my underwear and it landed on a guy's head. And he spilled all this drink and knocked the table over. The manager said, get the hell out and never come back. They 86 me. So that was the end of my comedy career.
nice.
But anyway, so, and then after that, somebody said, you should get an agent. Well, I didn't even know. I was so green. I said, "What is that? What's an agent?" And then they had explained it to me, and I went over and I was all grungy, from work, and because we worked with precious metal, the big piles. We dismantled phones and put them in big piles. So
Oh, okay.
a woman literally climbed the chair to get away from me, to stare at me. But, once I cleaned it off, they let me come on. In those days, the agent could actually have a school and train you to be an actor. Nowadays,
Really?
it has to be separate.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that's back in the '80s. So anyway, they took me on, and I had to pay for lesson, but then I got work right away. So I did commercial, I did print work, for magazines and stuff, and became an international print model, character model. So I did
Oh,
all kinds of work for that. And then I did a lot of commercials. And then Perry Mason came to town in the late '80s,
right.
Even Burr and, you know, I can't even remember all the people who are involved in that.
Yeah.
Uh, but the Hoff, I don't forget what his real name is. They call him the Hoff, Hoff. Anyway, but
David Hasselhoff?
Hasselhoff, yes, thank you.
Nice.
I have pictures of him,
Yeah.
and I worked with him, and I did a lot of other stuff too, and so on the strength of that, I went to Hollywood, like everybody does, where they grow up in a small community and they think, oh, I'm ready for Hollywood. Well, you got a big surprise. It's not that easy to break into. I got lucky because somebody by the name of it was Faces Magazine, it was called, and actually
Oh,
they're kind of scammers. They'd go in the Midwest, and then charge the parents of a young boy, say, okay, that's $1,000 a page. We'll put his face on that page and do a little write up about him, and they go nowhere. They
right.
get Hollywood, nobody gives a damn,
Right.
and so it's kind of a scam. But they let me do it for free because they knew my first movie I co-starred in right out of the box.
Wow.
Yeah, Michael Pare, I don't know if you ever heard of that name.
It
He
sounds familiar.
Eddie and the Cruisers, Streets of Fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
I co-starred with him, Maude Adams from Octopussy, that was a James Bond,
Really?
and then Eddie Velez from A-Team. So the four of us co-starred in a movie called, The Women's Club. It's about a script writer that can't get work, so he becomes a male prostitute for a woman's club.
Wait, and that's in the '80s?
It was in the '80s.
That's so 80s.
It
That
was
was like Bosom Buddies or,
it's a goofy kind of a comedy, and so, on the strength of that, I went to Hollywood. I did a few more things before I went, but basically, I worked with Kevin Costner in a bicycle movie. Uh,
uh, uh, oh, he had it was about 2 brothers, right?
yeah, and then the Ray Don Chong.
Radon Shaw. I saw that with my mom when I'm in Alaska. We came up here one time and it was on HBO.
Yeah, well, I was in that.
Wow. Wow.
And then a lot of other ones. I didn't even know this. I was, so innocent. I worked with a young guy. I didn't even know his name. I took him to jail. It was called Prison for Children. I was a deputy sheriff. The back seat was a guy that turned out to be Josh Brolin, of all people. You know how big he is.
Right, but this was back in the day, like, when he was a
Just
kid?
started, yeah, in '86, and
Yeah,
and,
Goonies.
like 18 years old, and I was about 35. So, anyway, I used to think it was Ethan Hawke or somebody like that, but no, it was Josh Brolin. I just looked
Wow.
at so if you go back to my IMDb page in the very beginning, nobody does that. So, um, I'm getting ahead of myself, but
No,
anyway,
yeah, you're good.
I stopped doing a lot of acting for a while. I became a teacher, kind of out of necessity that because, Hollywood, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. You're a flavor of the month and then you're not. You're hot, then you're not.
Right.
I became a teacher and they said, "Well, if we see you on TV, you're fired." So I believed them. So I do stuff.
Wait, why?
Because they lied to me. Other teachers were actors and they got, but well, because you're calling in sick, and you're
Oh, so
work.
they assume you're gonna scam it and just yeah.
So my guest acting was on the phone saying, "I'm so sick today," talking to the principal. And then people in wardrobe were laughing at me, like giggling. I said, "Shh."
Oh my god, you're already there.
A lot of people did that. But, yeah, I'd go on my lunch break and go and audition. And sometimes I'd come back and I was late, and the kids were waiting for me, and then they'd fire me from that school. I could never
Nice.
teach that schow. So, I mean, you sacrifice a lot for this
Right.
bit. I change clothes while I'm driving,
Right.
try to, as I'm driving, I'm changing clothes. It's crazy. But anyway, I was so passionate about this, the acting. I got hooked, and then the first acting school I went to, I was doing a scene and it was a tearjerker. And I turned around and everybody watching me had tears in their eyes. I thought,
Wow.
that hooked me. I thought, if I can impart that kind of emotion, I want to do it. I want to move people.
Did you have to do the whole think of something, like, really fucked up and
No,
miserable to make you
no,
upset?
I'm kind of a rarity. I can dig deep, and I've got so much trauma in my life. It doesn't take anything. I don't have to imagine anything. Uh,
Wow.
some director tried that on me once. He said, "Imagine your father just died."
No.
Father did die. I
You're like, "Thanks, man."
paralyzed. I couldn't speak because it affected me that badly. So that's bad advice. Don't ever tell somebody your father
No.
because he did. And
They just hit a nerve, like, literally.
yeah, I couldn't.
Fuck.
That was terrible. But
Yeah.
most of the time, you want me to cry, I'll cry. But a lot of
Right.
people say, "Larry, could you please stop crying?"
Right, like, "Well, thanks."
And we don't need that much.
Right.
I can cry on a dime. I've got, the tear ducts are ready to roll.
Right.
But anyway, so I always told my students when I taught acting, don't fake it, feel it. Because if you fake it, the audience is gonna pull back. They're gonna see the strings. You're like you're on a puppet. It's like, "Oh, man." And they go to the theater, you're doing them a favor because they can feel your pain, your joy vicariously through you. And you're cheating them because a lot of people are emotionally constipated. They go to movies so they can feel.
Right.
Don't do your job right, I tell people, other actors, I use real emotion. It's called method acting.
Right.
but it's modified. I don't stay in the role and scare people. I don't go home and scare my family.
Right, right. You leave work in character, go to a restaurant.
But I mean, when they say, cut, I go back to myself.
Yeah.
When they say action, I'm on. And I tell these other actors that just say the lines, they wait for their line, and there's no emotion. There's nothing in the eyes. And I'm saying, I'm coming for you. You better be ready. And so they don't believe me until it happens. As soon as I let loose, because I'm a very intense actor, they're like, Jesus Christ, you're for real. It's like a tennis player. You don't lob a ball to a tennis pro. They'll jam it down your throat. So that's what I do. And so they have to up their game.
Right. This is
But
acting.
so when I was in Denver, so I did a lot of this stuff, and then I went to Hollywood and through Faces, and I worked with them. They got me an agent called Film Artists. They're one of the best. And finally, the word got out these were scammers. They were charging these poor kids from the Midwest thousands of dollars. And so they shut them down. And then I didn't want to work with them anyway because they're using me as a shill. I
Yeah.
go talk to people, and these guys were crooks.
Like never ending, nickel and diming.
Exactly. Yeah, but so anyway, it's just that was the bad side of Hollywood. That is one of the many things, and
Yeah.
then a lot of the acting teachers, they just want you to stay with them forever, and so they would charge you and say, "Oh, you're
Oh,
not ready yet. You got to stay with me a couple more years." That sort of thing, and everybody's got their hand out.
right.
I was even paying a manager for a while until I found out you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, they get paid when you get paid.
Right, right, like a lawyer, like, you just
The band. And then there are people out there doing that.
right.
Anyway, there's so many bad you know, I use the analogy of remember the, gold rush days and, like,
Yeah.
the people that made the money were the prospectors. You know who really made the money? The people who sold the picks and the
Right,
shovels, the hardware stores.
right.
What we got in Hollywood? We got a lot of hardware stores here, like acting teachers, this and that, and then they used to sell, headshots, you know, and, I tell you, I've seen it all,
Yeah.
so much corruption, and so you'd buy these headshots, and then you'd send them out, and then they don't even look at them. The agents, they put or the casting directors, they put them as door stops to keep the
Well,
door and
but I
so
mean,
buy 'em back. There's
so
a
they don't check you out until, like, what, you've made a couple films or something, or
they might glance at it, but and then I got it and so you'd have to buy them back. There's like an intermediary
what?
media place. So they would give them back to somebody or sell them back for a dime, and they'd sell them back to you for $1, so you'd pay half the price, so you
Yeah.
go and buy your pictures back. It's just a scam, but and then there's just so much. I could tell you so much about the underbelly of Hollywood, the belly of the beast,
Right.
blow the top off this whole place.
I it you're in a period of history and time where that shit happens so much where like different people, and Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby, all these people, and Hugh Hefner. I'm like, all these people that are American. I don't know what you would call them, just classic American entertainers. And it's like gross. Bob Barker, there's I think a documentary on how much of a creep he was, and so I don't know, man. You have to be from just an observational point. It just appears like you have to really be. You have to have a sense of. You have to have good survival skills
Uh,
because it's sad, but
yeah, you have to know what's going on. If you're just a newbie just starting out, you're at the mercy of these bastards.
right,
They'll all take you. I had a guy once said, "I want to cast you for this movie, but are you into like gay sex?" And I went, "No." And he said, "Well, that's a hard no then." You're out. Bye-bye." They're
It
like,
wasn't even porn, huh?
it no, it's just
What the fuck?
I I could tell you some stories, but
Yeah.
you know, because I
I
was
don't I mean, just to be honest with you, like, I like, I don't care that whatever, but the inappropriate behavior and the nonchalantness, of that, and it's just like, you go in and you're vulnerable because 'cause you're just like, I'm at the mercy of you because 'cause I'm trying to get this gig,
I
and you're gonna be nasty with me, like
yeah, I'm just gonna be very frank with you. The
yeah.
first movie I did, it was a female director. I don't know if I should name her, I don't wanna get sued.
Yeah, you probably should just tell
I
me not to.
anyway, but I already told you the name of the movie, so you probably figure it out. So anyway, she had kind of, I don't know what the word is, designs on me, you
Huh,
know? Yeah. So that's how I got the part, and I didn't know that. I was just being friendly with her, and saying, "Oh, you
yeah,
be skiing when you come up to Denver," and then she cast me in the movie, but because I never delivered, because my agents and she talked to all of us, mostly for the women, "Don't sleep with anybody," and so I took that to heart. I could have, and maybe I would have gotten another movie that she did, but, I did the movie, but
yeah.
I can't say too much, but she had her boyfriend who was a big high profile director eliminate me from the film, not totally, but I went from 40 scenes to 14 scenes. She said, "I want you to get as much of this bastard out of this movie as possible." So he did. So, yeah, women can play that game too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you in these scenarios where oh, crap. I only get a certain amount of time, so we're gonna if it's okay, we're gonna cut a little short because I don't wanna cut off, but I noticed that in the, that's it I don't just think men are guilty of this shit. It's like, you hear, like, Steven Seagal, there was a story, his female I don't know if she was assistant or whatever, lured a woman up and left the room. And so it's not like and that's there's many I mean, there was a woman who defended, Harvey Weinstein, and she was a feminist, like, quote, unquote, "feminist lawyer," and it's like, it doesn't matter, like,
Oh, the brothers that killed their parents?
the
The
Menendez brothers,
the
yeah.
attorney was sleeping with both of them
Ugh.
in the
I
jail cell.
mean, it's crazy, but hey, Larry, I'd like to do this again. Like you said, an hour isn't even, that doesn't even scratch the surface with you.
No, I mean, I could tell you a lot of stories from the movies I did.
I appreciate it. Thank you again. And I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And you have a good one.
I
And
just wanna leave you with one thought.
yeah.
He just played the father of 3 of the biggest monsters in the world, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger, and it's on something called CCC Horrorverse on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. I think I saw something about that with you, with a picture of them or something with you.
Aaron Carlson is the director, and, it's gonna be in theaters, but it's also free online, so
Wow.
pick it up and yeah,
Yeah.
people
Well,
anyway, that's I'm the only person that's ever done that.
I just got, can
Oh
you
my
see that?
that Leatherface?
That's, Jason.
Oh, that's Jason, yeah.
Sorry, it's a bad angle, but yeah, I just got that.
Yeah, so, anyway, it's a great movie. It's called Jason Voorhees: The Awakening, and then there's another one that they did called Jason Voorhees, Nightmares.
Right.
Both of them. I'm in both of them.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, that's
that's very exciting. Thank you.
you betcha.
All
Okay.
right.
Well,
Thank you. Take care.
okay. Take care. See you later.